Hello everyone, welcome to the software coding tutorials channel. My name is Tommy and I will be discussing about unit tests and why we do unit tests, and I also talk about a unit test framework called Catch2 in C++, and this tutorial is going to be for Windows, so please stick around and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so what is unit tests and why do we perform unit tests? So here's the what. A unit test is a piece of code written to test a small, isolated part of your program. In other words, it can be a function, method, or class. The unit test code is to confirm that our function, method, or class works correctly. So why do we create unit tests in the first place? We want to verify that our code is working as expected. We want to catch the bugs early in development. We want to give more confidence that nothing breaks when code changes happen. We also use unit tests as the mean to document our code. We also want to improve our design and encourage developers to write modular and decoupled code, and this helps to make cleaner and maintainable code in the long run. And this has also helped to support continuous integration. Okay, so what unit test frameworks are there? There are many frameworks available, but I prefer to choose one that is easy to use, simple to install, and has a gentle learning curve. So what I found is Catch2 for C++. So what do we need to install? So we need to install VC package, and here's the link that I provided. Unfortunately, this is not part of the tutorial, but follow this link that I gave you. Then you install Catch2 using VC package. This step I walked you through. Then the third step is to install cmake-gui, and here's the link that I provided. Go to this link that I provided and choose an MSI installer for Windows. Then if you don't have Visual Studio 2022 yet, please install Community or Professional Edition. Then also you need to install Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let's start creating an example unit test project for the following code in C++. So here I have a couple functions. As you can see, a function that does math, so return the cube for x. This function here does a concatenation, just string A and string B. And this function is the overloaded function, which takes a vector, then loop through the vector and then creates the string, which have been concatenated. Then here is just a function that I pass in a key and a value. Then what it does is stores the value for that particular key and return the value back. Okay, so open VS Code and enter the functions that I created. So first you want to create the header, map, string, and vector. So you also want to copy in the actual include also here. So this include will be the location where you install Catch22, which I'll show you later. But for the version that I install is in a different folder, so it's going to be somewhere like here. Okay, so in your case it could be different, and it could be in a different location altogether. So you definitely need to include this header. And then map string vector, and then using namespace, we want to create a map of string and integer. So for the key will be a string, for the value will be an integer. The cube function, the concatenate function, which takes in string A, string B, and return the concatenation of string A and B. Then here's an overloaded function that takes a vector, loops to the vector, and create the concatenation. And here is a function that takes in the key and value, stores it, and then return the value. Okay, so to create the unit test for this one is pretty simple. So using the Catch2 framework, we type in test case and just a description, so concatenate function, and we say concatenate. You know, as a matter of fact, you can just put in any string string value. It doesn't have to be this. And here we want to say require, and then the function that was used, so concatenate. Okay, and then the argument. So it would be, hello and world, and your assertion. So it's going to be like equal to hello world, right? If the string is concatenated properly. Okay, so that's all you need for unit testing this first function of concatenate. Then for cube, we create one for test case, cube function, and type in cube, and we say require cube, and we pass in a value like 3, right? And we're expecting it to be 27. So if it's not equal to 27, it's going to give us a fail, right? Okay, so that's all it is for the unit test for cube function. Then for the vector, it will be a little bit different. So we could say test case concatenate vector, and we say concatenate vect, and we want to declare like a vector, so vector of string vect equal to goodbye world, and then we say require concatenate, and we pass in the vector, and it's going to be goodbye world. Okay, so let's finish off the last function called get value. So we say test case get value, and it's going to identify that this is get value, and we say require get value, and we enter a key, a string, right? So it would be like a value be like 10, equal to 10. And if this function doesn't return a 10, then it will fail the unit test. Okay, so next step I will show you how to install all the necessary packages and tools so that we can actually build this unit test and then execute it. Okay, so here are the steps to install Catch2, build and run unit tests. So the first thing we want to do is create a cmake-list.txt. So the content would look like this. So I have a file that I already created, so it would look like this. So you need to enter exactly like this with the version of cmake-gui. Okay. Then the next step is to install Catch2 with VC package and this command here. So if you want to remove it, you can do the following by entering the remove command and then this. Okay, and then locate cmake and call cmake to make the make-file. As you can see here, I'm going to put this all in a batch file, so it's easier for me. So here I locate cmake. I pass in the exact argument for Visual Studio 2022. Here's a caret, very important if you're doing this in Windows. And this will build a 64-bit version. And here's the Catch2 directory. Okay, where it's Catch2 is being installed. Then this command here is using MS-build to build the solution that is going to be created from cmake. And the last step is to run the unit test, and there are ways to report unit tests. You can have XML, you can have other formats, so you pass into the reporter argument. Okay. Okay, so let's open up a terminal and install the proper software. So the first thing we want to install is VC package. Using VC package to install Catch2. So you want to use this command here and just copy it and paste in the terminal. Okay, so Catch2 it's already installed, and so the next step will be making sure that we have a cmake list.txt file. So we say directory and then cmake list text file will look like this, and if you open up, it should state the project name, the version of cmake, and then where the test.cpp is located, and the library, target library, which contains Catch2. Okay, and so the next step after that will be building it, and then the last step will be reporting it. So what you want to do is just place all these commands into a batch file, and it's a lot easier because sometimes Windows does not take these caret correctly. Especially you could try to copy this and paste in the terminal. So I already done all this up front, and I call that build 3.bat. So we can execute it now. Okay, so we have an error somewhere, and it says row 3 of test.cpp has a problem with an extra parenthesis. So let's double check. So let's locate. Okay, so I do have an extra parenthesis. Let's just delete that, and let's go back and rebuild it again. I'm gonna go ahead and type build 3, and you can see that the unit test has been executed. Okay, so it executed just fine, no problem. Okay. Okay, so now let's go back to our unit test and let's cause a particular test to fail, right? So for get value, let's say that I'm expecting 11, and for concatenating string, I have a space here, so I know that these two unit tests will fail. So let's go and recompile our code again to see what it detects. And as you can see, this test failed, and this test also failed on assertion. So out of 4 tests, 2 fail and then 2 actually pass. So hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like and support my channel, please come back and subscribe. I'm looking forward for your comment, and please support me whatever you can. Thank you so much, and see you again soon. Bye for now.